Hey y'all, I wanted to pop on here and I wanted to go through a list of items that I would get if I was a beginning cookier, and then items that you're going to get to upgrade your business after the fact, right? So we're going to start off on what I think is pretty necessary to begin this business, and then what you can upgrade to as you start to get more money in your business bank account. So let's dive in. Okay, first and foremost, you're going to need cookie scribes, right? That's what you see in my videos when I'm like moving the icing around. They have the little metal tips. You can get like a 36 pack on Amazon for like less than $10. Get that. You're going to want a cookie turntable. That's what your cookie's on, that you can spin around to get different angles on. You're going to get that. That's going to be less than $10. These are small items that you can get that are really going to help you be able to decorate more and do more designs. So those two things for sure. You're going to need icing colors. Now you're going to want to invest. You're not going to want to get the pack of icing colors from Walmart with the little tubes, okay, with the liquid icing. You're going to want to get gel food coloring. Now I'm going to be maybe an outlier here and say I don't necessarily subscribe to the idea that you have to have name brand. You don't have to have Chef Master icing colors from Amazon or from your local cake decorating store. You can get off-brand items. I don't necessarily like Wilton. I think those color bleed a lot. But my favorite icing colors are from Hobby Lobby. That's like right down the road for me, which is also a problem. But those are my favorite. And their white is my favorite because their white is actually dye-free. Some white icings actually have like blue, purple in them some even have red in them to neutralize the white, almost to make it more white. But if you're trying to do dye-free sets too, you want your white to be dye-free. So I really enjoy Hobby Lobby's dye-free. So we have cookie scribes, turntable, icing colors. Then you're going to want to get packaging. You're going to want to get basic bags. You can get cellophane bags. You can get those at your Hobby Lobby. You don't have to buy them in bulk yet. You're just starting out, right? So these are just items you're going to need. Now, if you're going to want to make royal icing or even buttercream icing, you're going to need a mixer. I'm not saying you need to spend $300 on a stand mixer, but you need like a hand mixer, okay? I used this for months and months before I upgraded. I already had the mixer, but before I really started getting into it and realizing, oh, my life would be a lot easier with a stand mixer, I used a hand mixer. It is possible and doable. You're going to need a hand mixer. Maybe I think those can range between $25 to $50. And even, obviously, if you get KitchenAid, it's going to be higher price. But with that price, save it and get a stand mixer. So we have all those things. With those things and a fan. Get a fan. You're going to put your cookies in front of that fan to dry in between layers. You can get started on making them, right? You can get started on making your cookies. Next phase, if you want to upgrade, you want to take it to the next level, you want to do more cookie sets, these are the items that you're going to get. So we're going to upgrade our mixer. We're getting a stand mixer. It doesn't have to be name brand KitchenAid. That's what I have. And they have lasted literally since I've been married, and I've been married over 12 years and I still have the same mixer. I have upgraded my mixer, but I've kept my original one and I use that for my macaron sets. I have two, like regular quart, 5-quart ones, and then I have a 9-quart one that I upgraded to that is a professional KitchenAid. So the motor is like made for the amount of dough and cookies I'm making. But either way, get a stand mixer. Whatever fits your budget, that has good reviews. Look it up, do research, and then invest. Now you're going to upgrade your fan. So I said you're going to put your cookie in front of your fan to dry. You're going to upgrade that to a dehydrator. I use my dehydrator every single day when I decorate cookies, every single time. I could not do the quantity of cookies I do, which is anywhere from 20 to 40 dozen cookies a week without a dehydrator. Sometimes I even wonder if I should get another one, which I have not. But it is a game changer. Get the dehydrator. It helps dry that top layer of icing so you can move on to the next layer, and then you can do more and more cookies. So you have an upgraded stand mixer, you have a dehydrator. Now, you're probably going to want to upgrade your designs. You're going to want to really elevate your techniques. So to do that, you're going to get an airbrush gun. And those are going to be the bane of your existence. I don't know how many sleepless nights I had. My husband can tell you. Terrible. But they do so much for adding background, designs, shading that you couldn't do without it. I will never go back to using one, but when I first started, those first like 2.5 years, it was amazing, and it did help me get those backgrounds and designs that I wanted to get on my cookies. So definitely needed to start getting that higher quality cookie technique. Definitely worth it, even though it was a pain in the butt. Then you want to get a projector. So you really want your writing to be precise. You want if you're doing characters, you want those to be precise. You need to trace a star. You want it to be exact. You want every single cookie to look the same. Get a projector. It's going to be a pretty penny if you're investing in this. Mine, I think, is about $250. But I've had it for almost 4 years. And that thing is still going. Okay, and I'm going to have her until she dies because I love her. So it's like a pocket projector. It's linked down below. You can go get it. Do that. Get a projector. You're going to need it. It's going to save your sanity. Just get it. They have kid ones that you can use that are like big and clunky. And I know some people start out with that and those are like $50. But I say just save your money and then invest in a nice one that will last forever because you're going to use it forever. So definitely get a projector. Then, obviously, we've upgraded our stand mixer. We have a stand mixer now. We have our dehydrator. We have our airbrush machine and we have a projector. Okay, those are all things that you're going to want to get into that middle level of decorating. Oh, a 3D printer. I was going to say this. I started out with the Ender 3D printer, which is fine. It got the job done. It took forever, but I got the job done printing my cookie cutters. If you're going to do cookie custom sets and you're going to have customers have the ability to like send you pictures of inspiration, they're going to send you cutters that you don't have. You don't want to have to go to Etsy, you know, purchase them from a shop to buy them. Okay. You want to be able to go print your own cutter at your house for a fraction, pennies on the dollar, what you would spend on Etsy with shipping and all that stuff, and then be done with it, right? Make them whenever you want. If you want to do cookies, you want to do designs for the holidays, you can design your own designs. You don't have to wait on these cutters to release their shops because you can be making them. So that's another thing to consider. Get a 3D printer. So I started out on the lower end. I think the Ender was like $200 or something. But I upgraded. So now we are going to talk about going like to advanced, I guess. I'm not advanced. I'm not saying that, but spending more money on your business, right? Investing in yourself and in your business. So the first thing I did before I got this new printer, I got an edible ink printer. They have loads of different options now, but I got the Eddie and I do love Eddie. I have not had any problems. I love Eddie. Every time my ink is getting low and I need to replace it, I go ahead and buy an extra ink. So I always have ink on hand and we're going. And Eddie is actually working towards a dye-free ink option. So I'm going to be really excited when that comes out because I do have a lot of customers who want dye-free. So get an edible ink printer if you can afford it. Obviously, this is later on down the road. You're saving your money for it. Save it, save it, save it. And then you can also upgrade your 3D printer. I had my 3D printer for, let me see, 22 before I upgraded for probably almost 3 years, for sure 2.5, like 2 years and 3.25 months, whatever, almost 3 years. And then I got fed up and I was like, you know, I have the money in the business account. I'm going to invest. So I got a bamboo. A lot of people say you can get a bamboo A1, which is like the smallest bamboo. I think those are like $300 now. So you could even start with that. If you wanted to save up instead of getting the Ender, start with your bamboo, get that. But I got the PS1, which is like the enclosed 3D printer. So it's enclosed, and I got the system on top where you can do more colors. Now this is not necessary if you're just doing cookie colors. And that's what I told myself. Like, I don't need the fancy, I'm just doing cookie colors. But I like having the 3D printer and my boys like it. So, you know, we just invested in it and I love that thing. So get yourself a 3D printer, invest in a high quality 3D printer if you can, and maybe skip the middle ground 3D printer and just save a few more $100 and get the Bamboo A1 Mini, and you have your 3D printer right there. And so we have the Eddie, the edible ink printer, and then we have a fancy or high quality 3D printer. Now, a lot of people will say this is a time where you can decide to get like a dough sheeter. I have not invested in that because those things are huge. And I am a home baker, okay? I don't have room for that. But if that's something you want, that is something that you could definitely use and do for yourself. But these are just the items that I would start out with if I was beginning. And then what I would upgrade and when I got more to advance my skills and also to advance my cookies. And then what I upgraded more to really advance my production. Right? So the edible ink printer, I can do business cookies. I can do edible branded business cards, right? Companies love to do that. Holidays, they love to do that. They hand that out. Who doesn't want a business card that you can eat? The 3D printer helps me be able to make cookie cutters whenever I want. I can print a cookie cutter in less than 10 minutes. Okay. So those things just really elevate your business and make you go to the next level. So let me know down below if you have any tips that you would give to beginning cookiers, and what you would tell them that they need to get. And then if you're a beginning cookier, let me know if you have any questions, and maybe we can help you out down below. Bye, y'all.